Gentlemen, there's something most men over 60 experience but rarely admit out loud. That quiet morning realization when the strength that once came naturally has simply vanished. No announcement, no gradual decline, just an empty silence where vitality used to be. You might wonder if this chapter of your life has closed permanently, but I'm going to share a truth that may surprise you. That part of you hasn't disappeared. Your body still holds the blueprint for performance. It's simply waiting for the right cue to activate it again. And I'm about to reveal how you can send that signal in under a minute. I'm Dr. Rena Malik, a urologist and men's health specialist with 3 decades of experience helping men naturally restore their strength, confidence, and vitality. I've worked with men in their 70s and 80s who reclaimed capabilities they believed were gone forever without medications or devices, simply by understanding their body's actual mechanisms. Here's what surprises nearly every patient I meet. Your strongest mornings aren't created in the moment. They're constructed during sleep. And the key to waking up powerful again isn't found in a supplement or exercise program. It's something sitting in your kitchen right now, something so straightforward you'll question why nobody mentioned it before. Stay with me and I'll explain exactly what to do 30 minutes before bed to restore your body's natural cycle and wake up strong again naturally, confidently, and without chemicals. Shortly, I'll reveal what this is, the science behind its effectiveness, and how thousands of men over 60 are using this evening practice to reclaim the mornings they thought were lost forever. Before we continue, please subscribe and enable notifications so you won't miss future science-based strategies to help men over 60 regain their strength and confidence. I'd appreciate hearing from you as well. Type 1 in the comments if this resonates with you. If you're uncertain, type 0 and share what's holding you back so I can create content that genuinely serves you. Now that you're here and engaged, let me explain what actually occurs inside a man's body after 60, why those effortless mornings start fading, and how one minor nightly adjustment can quietly rebuild the fundamental basis of strength, circulation, and masculine confidence you believed was gone. When I meet with men in their 60s, I recognize it in their expressions before they speak, that unspoken frustration, that question they hesitate to voice. What happened to me? They recall mornings when strength arrived naturally, when their body responded immediately, when intimacy wasn't something requiring planning or concern. But now they wake to emptiness and wonder if that aspect of themselves has permanently vanished. The reality is it hasn't disappeared. It's been neglected. After 60, your body undergoes small, quiet transformations that most men don't notice until the consequences appear where it matters most. Arteries that once expanded easily begin stiffening. The inner lining, called the endothelium, stops producing adequate nitric oxide, the molecule enabling blood vessels to relax and fill properly. Without this, the system simply doesn't respond as it once did. Simultaneously, your testosterone pattern begins flattening. You still generate it, but without the same intensity or timing. Stress, inadequate sleep, and evening habits diminish the surge that used to occur during deep sleep. When testosterone decreases, the entire system, from mood to muscles to performance, begins dulling. Add years of sedentary living, extended work hours, medications, or elevated blood sugar, and the nerve signals that once triggered instant responses now arrive slower, weaker, or sometimes not at all. I've had patients tell me they feel like their body has forgotten how to be masculine, and I respond the same way every time. It hasn't forgotten, sis. It simply needs reminding. Your body is designed for nightly self-repair, but after years of neglect, it resembles a machine that hasn't been maintained. Sis, the encouraging news is it can be reactivated. That's where this discovery comes in. A natural 1-minute evening practice that engages your body's deepest repair cycle, rebuilding circulation and restoring the rhythm driving testosterone production. It doesn't require prescriptions, devices, or dramatic lifestyle changes. This is just one simple action before bed that reawakens everything time has gradually diminished. And I'll show you exactly what that is and why it works so effectively during sleep. I'll never forget sharing this discovery with one of my patients. He was 68, a quiet man who'd spent his career repairing engines. "Doc," he said, "machines I can fix. But this," he gestured downward and shook his head. I don't even know where to begin. I smiled and replied, then let's start small. It's smaller than you can imagine. Hidden in nearly every kitchen cabinet sits one of nature's most underestimated resources for male vitality, a single dried clove. It appears unremarkable, small, brown, hard, and ordinary, but inside that tiny bud exists an oil called eugenol, and it possesses the capability to accomplish what many expensive treatments attempt and fail to achieve. Eugenol is a natural compound that relaxes smooth muscle in your blood vessels, enabling them to expand wider. It reduces the hidden inflammation obstructing your circulation, and it enhances nitric oxide, the messenger instructing your arteries to direct blood precisely where it needs to flow. When I explain this to men, they typically laugh. You mean something costing $1 can help more than all these pills? I nod because I've witnessed its effectiveness repeatedly. The secret isn't in swallowing it or brewing it as tea. It's in the application method. Place one whole clove between your gum and cheek for just 60 seconds before bed. Don't chew it yet. Simply let it rest there and soften. Within moments, you'll detect a warm, spicy flavor spreading through your mouth. That's the eugenol oil releasing. It's absorbed directly through your mucous membranes, entering your bloodstream almost instantly. No digestion required, no delay. As you settle down later that night, that same oil quietly begins its work, opening vessels, calming nerves, and preparing your body for the deep sleep where genuine repair occurs. That's why I tell my patients this practice isn't about immediate gratification. It's about restoring the foundation so your body can function as it was designed to. It's gentle, private, and surprisingly effective. What I appreciate most is what it represents. It demonstrates that strength doesn't always emerge from force or medication. Sometimes it comes from patience, consistency, and trust in your own biology. Because when you combine this 1-minute practice with proper timing, when you align it with your body's natural nightly rhythm, the effects multiply in ways most men never anticipate. Over the years, I've learned that most men focus on what happens in the moment, not what occurs in the hours preceding it. They come to my office saying they've tried taking things in the morning before intimacy, even before workouts, with nothing lasting. And every time I explain the same thing. The secret doesn't lie in what you do during daylight hours. It lies in what your body does when darkness and quiet surround you. That's when your system rebuilds the machinery of manhood. Your body operates on rhythm. Every cell, every hormone, every blood pulse follows a schedule written into your biology. Around midnight, while you sleep, your brain releases luteinizing hormone, the signal instructing your body to produce testosterone. It's also when your blood vessels repair, so your nitric oxide levels reset, and your nervous system finally exits the stress state it's been trapped in throughout the day. This is why I always tell my patients that strength isn't built during passion, it's built during peace. When you use the clove practice 30 minutes before bed, you're not merely giving your body a supplement, you're providing it a signal. As the eugenol enters your bloodstream, it relaxes your blood vessels and calms your nervous system. That combination tells your body it's safe to rest and time to rebuild. The deeper you sleep, the stronger your testosterone pulse becomes. The stronger that pulse, the more responsive your circulation will be in the morning. It's like charging your phone overnight. You don't wait until the battery dies. You plug it in so it's ready when you wake. I remember Patrick, a 70-year-old truck driver who hadn't slept through the night in years. So I asked him to use one clove before bed and spend 10 minutes breathing slowly in darkness. 2 weeks later, he returned, looked me in the eye, and said he'd slept 6 hours straight for the first time in a decade and woke up feeling alive. That's not magic. That's his body finally receiving the opportunity to repair itself. Timing is everything. The same habit performed at the wrong hour can fall flat, but done before bed, it works in harmony with your body's natural rhythm, multiplying its power. And when that rhythm returns, the change doesn't stop at performance. You begin feeling it in every aspect of your life. When I teach this method, I tell men to think of it as a small act of self-respect, not another task on a checklist. You don't need to carve out an hour or follow a complicated plan. All it requires is one quiet minute before bed, but done correctly, it can change everything. This is how you transform that simple clove into something that reawakens your body. Start with one whole dried clove, not the powdered variety, not a capsule. The actual hard little bud you'd find in your kitchen spice rack about 30 minutes before bed. Rinse your mouth and place that clove gently between your gum and cheek. Either side works. Don't chew it yet. Just let it rest there as you breathe slowly. Within half a minute, you'll taste the warm, sharp spice spreading across your tongue. That's the eugenol, the powerful oil inside the clove being released and absorbed directly through your mouth's soft tissue. What happens next is quiet but significant. The oil enters your bloodstream almost immediately. It begins relaxing the smooth muscle in your blood vessels, allowing them to open slightly wider. It calms inflammation that's been building silently for years, the same kind that restricts circulation where you need it most. As your body begins shifting into rest mode, the eugenol works alongside it, lowering stress hormones, easing the nervous system, and setting the stage for deeper, uninterrupted sleep. When you finally rest your head on the pillow, your body is already preparing for repair. Blood flow improves, testosterone production strengthens, and your system finally receives the signal it's been waiting for. Rebuild. Over the next several nights, you'll start noticing subtle changes, calmer sleep, lighter mornings, maybe even the first signs of firmness returning without effort. If your gums are sensitive, start slowly. 30 seconds the first night, a full minute the next. This isn't about pushing harder. It's about staying consistent. The more nights you repeat it, the stronger your results become. Think of it as training your body to remember its natural rhythm again. If there's one lesson I've learned after 3 decades of treating men over 60, it's that timing isn't just important, it's everything. You can have the right foods, the right supplements, and the right habits. But if you apply them at the wrong time, your body won't respond as it should. That's why the clove method works best when used before bed. It isn't magic. It's biology working on schedule. Your body runs on a precise internal clock known as the circadian rhythm. It's what tells your brain when to sleep, your heart when to slow down, and your hormones when to rise. Most men don't realize that testosterone, nitric oxide, and growth hormone, the 3 pillars of male performance, all peak during deep sleep. That's when your arteries repair microscopic damage, your blood vessels restore elasticity, and your testosterone surges naturally. But if you're awake too late, checking your phone, having a drink, or eating a heavy meal, you interrupt that entire sequence. You rob your body of its nightly restoration. When you use the clove, practice 30 minutes before bed, you're giving your system a signal at the perfect moment, right before the repair process begins. The eugenol oil starts relaxing your vascular walls and calming your nervous system just as your body begins winding down. It lowers cortisol, the stress hormone that blocks testosterone, and enhances nitric oxide release right as your brain transitions into deep sleep. It's like priming an engine before it runs, a small adjustment that allows every other process to work better. I remember Patrick, the retired truck driver who had been struggling with restless nights and flat mornings for years. He told me he couldn't remember the last time he'd slept through the night. When I taught him this timing principle, everything changed. 2 weeks later, he came back with a smile I hadn't seen before. He said he didn't change his diet or take any pills, but he slept like a rock and the mornings were back. That's not coincidence. That's his body finally working with the rhythm it was designed for. So if you've ever wondered why mornings feel weaker with age, it's not just about lost strength, it's about disrupted timing. And once you realign that clock, your body responds faster than you'd believe. What starts as a nightly practice for performance becomes something far greater, a full body restoration that touches your mood, your energy, and even how young you feel each day. When men start this nightly practice, they often ask me how long before they notice something. And I always tell them the same thing. Real restoration doesn't happen overnight, but when it starts, you'll know. The change isn't loud or dramatic at first. It begins quietly, almost imperceptibly, like your body remembering how to work the way it once did. In the first 7 days, most men don't see fireworks. They feel calm. You may notice your body settling before bed, your breathing slowing down, your mind releasing the tension it's carried for years. That's the eugenol oil doing its work, relaxing your nervous system, helping you fall into deeper sleep, and beginning the vascular repair process that has been waiting to happen. Your nights start feeling different, less tossing, fewer interruptions, more genuine rest. And in the morning, something small but meaningful shifts. You wake up lighter, clearer, more grounded. For many men, this is the first sign of hope. By day 14, your system begins responding more visibly. Blood flow improves as your arteries regain flexibility. Nitric oxide levels rise and testosterone rhythms start rebuilding. You may notice firmer mornings, steadier energy through the day, and an ease you haven't felt in years. I remember Robert, 74, who said to me he didn't realize how much of himself he'd given up until he started sleeping again. That's what this stage feels like, not just physical change, but the return of vitality, confidence, and peace of mind. By the 30th day, your body has adapted. This is where transformation settles in. Your hormone balance stabilizes, your blood vessels stay open longer, and your confidence becomes steady instead of sporadic. It's not forced, not chemical. It's natural. Your mornings greet you the way they used to, and your partner notices not just the physical difference, but the emotional one. You stand taller, you smile more, you feel like yourself again. But what's truly remarkable is what happens beyond those 30 days. Each night you stay consistent, your body continues building on that foundation. Stronger circulation, calmer sleep, steadier energy. It's not about chasing youth. It's about reclaiming balance. And this balance is what keeps a man strong, clear-headed, and confident through the years ahead. This is the part that surprises almost every man I've ever treated. They come thinking their problem is in their hormones or their circulation. And yes, those matter. But what if I told you that the real culprit could be hiding right behind your smile? Your mouth, more specifically your gums, might be quietly sabotaging your blood flow every single night without you realizing it. Here's how it works. The same arteries that supply your gums with blood also feed your heart and your manhood. When your gums become inflamed, whether from plaque, bleeding, or infection, those same inflammatory molecules enter your bloodstream. Once inside, they roughen the lining of your arteries, making them stiff, narrow, and less responsive. It's like corrosion in a pipe. The water still runs, but the pressure weakens. And where that shows up first for most men isn't in the heart. It's in performance. That's why the club practice is far more powerful than it seems. When you let that tiny bud rest between your gum and cheek, the eugenol oil doesn't just relax your blood vessels. It also kills harmful bacteria and soothes inflammation at its source. Night after night, that natural antibacterial action helps your mouth heal while your body rests. Your gums become healthier, your bloodstream cleaner, and your arteries freer to deliver the oxygen-rich flow that defines true vitality. I remember Harold, a retired teacher in his late 60s. He tried everything for his circulation, supplements, pills, even exercise, but the results never lasted. Then during a checkup, I noticed his gums were inflamed. I suggested the Clove method, not just for performance, but for healing too. Weeks later, he called and said his gums stopped bleeding and he felt stronger in the mornings. That's when I told him what I'll tell you now. Fix your mouth and you fix your manhood. Every night you use this practice, you're doing more than supporting physical function. You're restoring the very pathways that carry life through your body. Health starts with flow, and flow begins in the smallest vessels, including the ones in your gums. When those are healthy, everything downstream works better, from your heart to your hormones to your confidence. By the time most men reach their 60s, they've been told to simply accept decline as a natural part of aging. But that's not the full story, What I've seen again and again in my patients is that the body never truly forgets how to heal. It just needs the right signal to begin. That's exactly what this nightly club practice does. It's not a quick fix or a passing trend. It's a long-term reset that reawakens the systems responsible for energy, strength, and confidence from the inside out. When you make this a consistent part of your routine, the effects compound each night. As you rest, the eugenol continues cleaning your bloodstream, reducing inflammation, and keeping your arteries supple. Your nitric oxide pathways stay active, ensuring smooth, consistent blood flow, not just to one area, But throughout your body, over weeks, your cardiovascular health strengthens, your brain receives more oxygen, and your muscles recover faster. You don't just perform better, you feel sharper, lighter, more alive. But what truly stands out is how this habit stabilizes your hormones. Deep, uninterrupted sleep allows your testosterone rhythm to reestablish itself, leading to greater vitality, stronger bones, and better mood control. You'll notice you're not as easily fatigued or irritable. Small frustrations roll off your back more easily. Even your digestion improves as circulation and oxygen delivery normalize. I've had men tell me they started this for performance but ended up feeling 10 years younger. That's not an exaggeration. It's what happens when your body starts running clean again. Beyond the physical, there's something emotional that unfolds. Each night you commit to this practice, you're sending a message to yourself. I'm not done yet. You're reclaiming the confidence that time and stress try to steal. It's not about chasing youth. It's about owning vitality, about knowing that you can still wake up strong, steady, and proud of the man staring back in the mirror. And as your body restores, so does your belief in it, sis. Men who stay consistent with this practice often tell me the benefits only get stronger with time. They sleep deeper, move easier, and feel clear-headed. It's like watching a fog lift after years of living under it. That's the power of giving your body the right cue. Night after night, it learns to heal again. It says, even the most powerful practice can't reach its full potential if a few quiet habits are working against you. I've seen countless men over 60 start strong. They follow every step, do the club practice nightly, and begin feeling better. But then they hit a plateau. The reason isn't that the method stopped working. It's that old routines quietly undo the progress while they sleep. These are what I call the silent saboteurs, the small, familiar choices that drain vitality from the inside out. The first is late night eating. When you eat heavy meals or snacks close to bedtime, your body redirects blood to your digestive system instead of repair. That means less circulation for hormonal balance and vascular recovery. I tell my patients to give your body at least 3 hours between dinner and sleep. Let your system rest, not digest. It's a small change with a massive payoff in how deeply you sleep and how strong your mornings feel. The second saboteur is alcohol. A glass of wine may seem harmless, but alcohol raises cortisol, the stress hormone, and fragments your sleep cycles. It also interferes with nitric oxide production, the very process the club practice enhances. If you're serious about results, skip the drink while you start this habit. Once your system stabilizes, you can enjoy moderation without losing progress. The third is late night screen exposure. The blue light from phones and TV suppresses melatonin, delaying deep sleep and reducing the time your body spends rebuilding testosterone. So try turning off screens 30 minutes before bed. Replace that time with quiet breathing, reading, or reflection. Your brain will follow your lead and you'll fall asleep faster. Finally, stress, especially the kind men carry silently, wreaks havoc on blood flow and hormones. The more you stay in fight or flight mode, the less your body invests in repair. That's why I encourage pairing the club practice with deep breathing. Inhale for 4 counts, hold for 2, exhale for 6. It's simple, but it retrains your nervous system to relax. Once you remove these saboteurs, your body starts responding with surprising speed. Your energy stabilizes, your confidence strengthens, and the small victories build momentum. It's the difference between paddling upstream and letting the current carry you forward. When I look back at the thousands of men I've treated over the years, the ones who truly transformed weren't the ones chasing quick fixes. They were the ones who decided to make a small act of self-respect part of their daily rhythm. That's what this 1-minute practice really represents. It's not just about a clove or chemistry. It's about showing up for yourself every single night and trusting that your body still knows how to heal, still remembers how to be strong, and still has years of vitality waiting to be unlocked.